Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Glad to have you. We have a video today that's pretty exciting because we're going to find out how to build a medieval castle. That is absolutely correct. We have the original channel is DW Euromax. I thought I was actually subscribed. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe anyways. I thought I was, but anyways, hit like, hit subscribe, do all that super fun, awesome stuff. Links to the original video is in the description section down below. This one's a recommendation by First Doublet, so shout out to you. Thank you very much. And we're going to jump on into it and see what this is all about and see what... You know, I've actually wanted to build a medieval castle. I really have. I obviously don't have the resources or the time or the money or the tools. But we can experience the fantasy through video, guys. Let's do it.
I certainly never thought I'd end up in a quarry for Europe to the max. But here, dozens of craftsmen and workers are building a castle from the Middle Ages. Blacksmiths, stone crushers, carpenters, stonemasons, rope makers, bricklayers, and roof tilers.
Okay, so they're actually building a legit castle the exact same way that they did it back in the day with So they got the whole, everybody's there. This is cool. Wow.
They're only using the materials and technology from that era. And today I'm one of them, building a castle. The Château de Guédelon is Europe's biggest medieval castle reconstruction project. It's located about 200 kilometers south of Paris, France, near the village of Trény in the Burgundy region. The idea
in the Burgundy region. I just did a reaction to something that was the Franks, history of the Franks, right? The birthplace, the birth of modern Europe. Burgundy was in there, and I've heard of Burgundy in the past. So the Burgundy area, that's in France now. Very cool. I wasn't sure where exactly Burgundy was at the time, but now I know.
Is to reproduce a slice of life in the 13th century. The castle never actually existed before. This is a modern-day medieval-style building on a 70,000 square meter site. The plan took shape in the mid-1990s. A group of architects, historians and archaeologists came together to find out what building a real castle in the Middle Ages involved. They raised the needed funds and began.
Nice.
Marilyn Martin has supervised the project since the first stone was laid in 1997.
It's a castle in the style of King Philip Augustus of France, like the Louvre in Paris. It has a tower for the lords of the castle, a living area and several turrets. The castle is designed so it's very difficult to attack and conquer it. It's a small castle, and the social status of its owner would be relatively low. Altogether, including the family, the staff, and the soldiers, no more than 15 to 20 people would have lived here.
That's cool. So not only are they creating a castle, they're creating a backstory. They want it to seem like it makes sense. This is for a modest person. It's built to defend, but it's small. It's not super elaborate, etc., etc. I wonder if they put it in a strategic location as well, because that was a huge thing. You know, it wasn't just like how the castle itself was built back in the day. It was where did you put your castle? Because there's going to be natural strategic, you know, places to put it with the terrain and the what's around it and natural waterways and whatnot.
About 40 craftsmen work here from spring till fall. Another 30 employees take care of the administration.
See, that's the thing, 40 people. That's the difference. Back in the medieval times, they would have probably had like 100 people working on it at a time or something, you would think.
It's a bit like an orchestra with many different instruments. Every craftsman is important. Everyone is needed every day to build this castle.
And anyone can join in, even me.
Cool.
Every year, 600...
Anybody... Guys, I can't do it. I'm way over here in the United States, but most of my audience is in Europe. You're close enough. You might be able to go here and check this out and maybe have a hand in building some of it. How cool would that be?
Volunteers come along to help out, and today I'm one of them. I can't show up dressed like this, of course. That's better. Now I'm ready for my first assignment in the quarry. Castles were generally built right near a quarry, so the distance that the heavy stones had to be transported would be as short as possible.
Makes sense.
This is hard labor, especially for me, obviously. But the stone cutters don't just randomly break up rocks here. They cut them into specific shapes and sizes. Töndra Schroven shows me how to do it.
So I just put it in the middle, and I want 2 equal blocks. Okay. So I just put it in the middle, and it's going to split in this direction. So we have these iron leaves that we're going to place against the sides, and it's going to hold the iron wedge. And it's the iron wedge who's going to split the stone.
Now, I've seen people split stone, but I don't understand, how do they know exactly which way it's going to split or how it's going to break? Do they tap in? Because I didn't see any, like, relief cuts around it or anything. Like, you know, I'm thinking, maybe they tap in, carve out like a rough line around it to where it would follow the crack would follow that line, but I'm not seeing that here.
Sides, and it's going to hold the iron wedge. And it's the iron wedge who's going to split the stone.
With a few pointers, it's not all that hard. That's it?
Pretty cool.
Now the stone blocks go to the stonemasons, one after another on wooden carts.
They're even using period correct, or what looks like to me, I'm not a historian, but it looks like they're using the correct period of tools, like down to the wheelbarrow, the cart or whatever.
The stonemasons have to get the blocks in shape. I have to get myself in shape with a couple of dry runs. Aline Meunier uses a wooden stencil to show me what the stone is supposed to look like when I'm done.
Lift the chisel a bit, just like that.
So if I imagine I need to work on thousands of stones here, it's just impossible. It's so exhausting, and you need so much patience here.
Yeah, that's...
Nowadays we use different tools because stuff needs to get done faster. And that's the only difference. Here I work on the stone with my hands, not with a machine. We've got the time for it, and the time to show and explain it to the children and adults. But the love for the stone is the same. I just express it differently here.
2 hours later, one stone block has been dressed.
Now we can mark this stone. It's done. I mark every stone with my own symbol, my mason's mark, as proof of my work.
She's gonna mark it. She had him do it though, but she's gonna put her mason mark on it. They should put both of their marks, her mark and make up one for him, you know?
In the Middle Ages, we'd be paid for every single stone.
I mark my stone with a DW, of course. For
Okay, he is. I was gonna say that he should put a mark on there.
Deutsche Welle.
Next year we'll use it in that tower. It'll go into the last row of stones. Now you've helped build it. Deutsche Welle will be represented in this castle forever.
Various guilds have set up shop around the site.
So that's what DW stands for, is Deutsche Welle.
It runs almost entirely autonomous. All the materials and tools are produced on site. The carpenters cut the wood into beams, tools and scaffolding. Even the baskets are woven on site.
I mean, just like authentic medieval times, though, everything would have been done on site. So you're just taking it back to how it would have been.
Pigments are made from earth and various rocks to mix the paints used on the walls and textiles. Wood from the surrounding forest is used to make the roof shingles. A blacksmith forges the nails, hinges and iron tools. The Guédelon construction site has turned into a tourist attraction. About 300,000 people visit annually. Revenues from admissions finance the project as a whole.
Nice.
C'est fascinant.
And the cool thing is they're not in a rush though. They're just doing it because so it's an attraction along the way. So really it's not about the final product as much as it is about just the journey along the way and figuring out how they done it back in the day, going there, touring the place, checking it out, maybe volunteering, you know, just so that you can say, hey, I helped build a medieval style castle. It's just really cool. So the faster they get it done, the quicker that all ends. And then of course, then they can still make money or whatever if they wanted to do tours of the castle, of course. But this part's cooler. The actual seeing it built process, I think, is way cooler than just seeing a complete castle. Maybe that's just me. What do you think about it, guys?
It's fascinating, and I admire the patience they muster in building the castle.
It's interesting to see how things are made the medieval way, with simple means.
It's almost like I was asking them. I didn't realize they were going to start like, I was asking you, the viewer. But that's funny that they're almost answering my question in a way.
Today, everything's automated, and we've lost quite a lot of knowledge that way.
Yeah, we have.
I found that pretty fascinating how it fits together from the small piece to end up being a large-scale product.
Now I head over to see the masons, but before the stones can be placed, they have to be hoisted up onto the tower. So I have to get into the tread wheel.
Okay. They didn't build those bolts. Those are modern bolts. They should have blacksmithed them out. And also that rope is probably a modern rope. They should have just weaved it from the forest, guys. Come on now.
This is how they lifted heavy loads in the Middle Ages. The Guédelon craftsmen have revived many long-forgotten techniques. Workers like Mike Monfront are here to learn how to use the methods and materials of the period, but not to imitate the way of life of the Middle Ages. Among the winners here is science. Historians gain a better idea of how certain work was done back then. In the Middle Ages, craftsmen were held in high regard. They were the ones who passed on the skills and knowledge.
Yeah.
I became a mason here just by chance. I was a graphic artist in Paris for 20 years. After watching a film about Guédelon, I said to myself, that's what I have to do. This is important. This is our cultural heritage. So from one day to the next, I decided to change professions. I slogged away here for 3 years, and now here I am, finishing this castle.
That's crazy. He goes from being a graphic designer to like building a medieval castle with his bare hands.
What I'm doing here is for eternity.
Yeah. I mean, it literally could be there for the next 1,000 years. It literally could be there for the next 1,000 years. That is insane. It'd be so cool to be part of that, guys. If you're in the France area, or you're close enough, you're in Europe, you're close enough. It's just a few-hour drive or whatever. Jump on a train or a bus or however you get around. Get over there and build something there, right? Like, how cool would that be?
Parts of the castle have already been completed. The residential chambers give some idea how the lord of the castle and his family and staff would have lived here. An end to the construction work is nowhere in sight. For the workers in Guédelon, the journey is the reward.
What I said earlier.
The castle belongs to us all. That's my message. Come and you can be stonemasons. You can see the beautiful roof timbering and the murals. We all feel the same thrill when we see something beautiful. And that beauty is not reserved for an elite alone. We're building this beauty with our hands, our heads, and our hearts.
I still got a bit of building to do with my hands, head and heart as well. I'm heading up to the heights and help to tile the roof on the chapel tower. With locally fired tiles, of course.
Hold on, they just sit in there? There's nothing to glue them or hold them together? They're just stacked? Am I seeing this wrong?
I don't know why anyone would choose not to use modern technology, but I'm really impressed by the people of Guédelon with their passion and enthusiasm for this project. What do you think about the Guédelon Castle project? Is it genius or madness?
I was actually hoping that he was gonna go more into like the roof tiling system. I had so many more questions. Wow, this is super cool, guys. Check out the links in the description section down below. You guys have a super fun, awesome day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.